Okay, welcome everyone. We're here today. The focus of our CARE meeting today is to review the progress of My Love, where we've watched her in the self-contained setting, small group, 5 kids in the classroom. Very limited progress. We'll talk about her progress today. What I'd like to do first is just review over what we have in evaluations, and that she is a student who is under the intellectual disability, and she also receives language and speech services. So when we look at her nonverbal intelligence, we see her as a student who has a nonverbal intelligence composite of 67, which puts her in that low functioning range. She has these were done in 2017, May of 2017, so they're just under 2 years old. She has been in a self-contained setting. Her Wechsler's nonverbal scale of ability is at that 75 score, 5th percentile. Let's take a look at borderline. We're looking at low average on some of the subtests, borderline on some of the other ones. You can see that the psychologist is referring to a confidence interval, so that puts her in that between 71 and 85% range. We're looking at her academics, and this is where we see a lot of struggling going on. She's in the extreme low range with at a 41 for her basic reading skills. Math calculation, she's at a 56. She's got math problem solving, she's at a 65. So that's a big red flag for us. And again, she's been in a small group, self-contained class for at least 2 years that I know of. If anybody knows longer than that, I'm guessing since kindergarten.
Can we?
But we can take a look at that.
Yeah.
Just to verify.
Just for my own knowledge, what is that 90% confidence interval? What does that mean?
Well, that 90% confidence interval gives us a range to work with. So given a set score, okay, when we look at that nonverbal, given a set score of 75, that confidence interval gives us that, because we know that's not exactly always, but there's always that type of wiggle room. That
Okay.
confidence interval helps us to say, okay, she may be 71 in the low range and 84 on the high range.
Okay.
Okay, and that's a good question, because that's a good thing to consider.
And then I was just looking, because we were talking about the background. So she was retained. She's been everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we started at Gosio. Well, she was only there for a month in kindergarten. Okay, then she went to Philippi to finish her kindergarten year and was retained there.
Okay.
So she did kindergarten, her second year of kindergarten at Emma E.
Wow.
And first grade at Emma E.
Okay.
And it looks like that first grade was her first time in self-contained.
Okay.
And then she went to Brentwood.
Wow. So she's been moving around.
And now she's at Alta Vista. So yeah, this is her second year in
While
self-contained.
you're in there, would you just check her attendance, because I don't have a sense of where she is with attendance, and then we'll look at her academics.
Did she come here at the start of this year?
She did. Oh, she has really good attendance.
Okay, well, that's good.
I mean, she has one unexcused and early dismissal and tardy, but I wonder what it was like back.
Alrighty. Let's take a look at, and I don't have a sense, where is she currently with her iReady?
My Love.
Where's she finishing up?
For reading, on grade level, 489 to 560. In August, her diagnostic one was 379, which placed her grade K. Diagnostic 2, in December, 398, still grade K. and she just finished her last diagnostic at the end of April 30th, and it was 398, which is still grade K, so she went up
Wow.
19 points from the beginning of the school year. But when you look at the domains, she was grade K, diagnostic 1, 2, 3, in phonological awareness the entire year. Phonics, grade K, diagnostic 1, 2, 3. Also in high frequency words, diagnostic 1, 2, 3, grade K across the board. She did show growth in vocabulary in diagnostic 3. She started at grade K and ended on kindergarten.
Well, that's a good,
grade
that's
one,
a
I'm
good
It's
sorry.
like kindergarten,
Yeah.
kindergarten, okay, to
Kindergarten,
grade 1,
kindergarten,
okay, good.
grade 1. So diagnostic 1, kindergarten, vocabulary, diagnostic 2, kindergarten, and diagnostic 3, grade 1. So she did show improvement in
Mhm.
vocabulary.
That's good.
But
That's a
for
good sign.
comprehension, literature, and informational text, started at grade K and ended at grade K as well.
How many students were in that class this year?
5,
5.
5 with
and
2
rotating,
teachers.
and then there was some rotating in and out. And then there's the 2 that do move in for reading.
And
Right, we
it's
have
her,
2 students.
right, and it's her and, is there another second grader in there?
It's
So 2
lyric,
second
two.
graders, right, okay.
There.
Actually, 3 second graders for reading.
Well, more when they push in, right?
When they,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
it's,
So
okay,
it's 4 total.
maybe 5, cause 2 from Murphy, 1 from Newman,
That one was
And then-
just added though.
that one was just
Right.
added, and then those 2, so.
Yeah.
But most of the year, you're right, it was
Yeah.
4, okay.
And then when we're looking at math, that seems to be our stronger area at this point.
So for math, for my lab, on grade level for second grade, 428 to 506 is the scale score. Beginning of the year, diagnostic 1, my lab scored 359, placing her grade K. Diagnostic 2, still grade K, her scale score 364. And she showed improvement, diagnostic 3, May 9th, grade 1, scale score 391.
Well, that's good. That's putting her on level 1, correct?
Yes.
Is she finishing at grade 1? That's
And
good.
when we look at the domain, number and operations, she remained grade K from diagnostic 1, 2, and 3, as well as measurement and data. She started at grade K, diagnostic 2, grade K, and diagnostic 3, grade K. Algebraic thinking and geometry, she showed improvement, started at grade K and ended at grade 1.
Wow. That's good.
If you have that up, Laura, can you bring up her, like, overall online instruction and see what her pass rates were?
Her online instruction in math, 90%.
Wow, that's
She-
good. So then that's a true indication, okay.
She passed 69 lessons out of 77. And for reading 39 lessons passed out of 71, 55%.
Oof. So in looking at,
In
we
all
were,
kindergarten lessons.
Mhm. So where we are with, even in a self-contained intensive instruction, she receives a lot of small group. We haven't seen a lot of behaviors at this point, have we? Any behavioral concerns or?
No, and I think the good news is, in the beginning, we were getting support calls for that room, but it's turned around. And then her and Lyric seem to be buddies now,
Better,
so that,
better.
yeah. So behavior would not be a concern for me.
Yeah. So what we're looking at is the teacher is providing instruction at grade level, but differentiated and scaffold, and she's still struggling with intensive instruction. And what I see at this point is a recommendation for access, alternative assessments, and even at this point with what has been provided and we have not seen growth, I'm concerned about frustrations on her level, maybe that look at more behaviors that might occur in the future because of those frustrations. So, I think as a team, we should probably be looking at and considering getting her into, sharing with the parent the option of the access program, sharing with the parent of her being provided, instruction in a setting, cluster site with students her age, her ability to really hone in on those academic needs.
Especially going into third grade. Especially going into third grade. So the cluster unit that she would attend is
Brentwood.
Okay.
Brentwood.
Okay.
Your thoughts coming from the speech language area concerning My Love? We just kind of went through the academics.
Sure. So for language, minimal progress has been made this year. She's able to attend to most therapy sessions with maximum reinforcers and verbal encouragement. With the speech, we tabled her goals for speech because we think that making sure that her language needs are being met first. That's my first priority. She is functional for her speech. She's intelligible. So, for the most part.
Right.
So language is my first priority. And as she has made minimal progress this year, this is not the right place for her.
Where
Correct.
we went ahead
And we looked back and saw she was retained in kindergarten.
a lot of school changes.
A lot of school change.
Attendance is not an issue.
Attendance is not an issue, and this is her second year in self-contained.
Yes, I do, yes.
Okay.
So,
Can I just ask, what is her, is she LI?
She's LI and SI. I placed her on consult for SI at this point. I think when really intelligibility hasn't been a big issue for me. It's retaining any information that I have given her. So answering, what I've been focusing on is answering simple comprehension questions, following directions, and vocabulary, because that is what she will need to read a sign or function.
Yes, function.
So
Right. And that's why I think this is a good direction to go to get her
okay.
leveled playing field.
So as a team, how do we feel about this, moving ahead with this, sharing with parent? Okay, so we'll meet with them, we'll schedule to meet with them, bring them in here and share the options, the benefits, hear their concerns, and we'll make our recommendations and get a sense of the parents' concerns and how they feel about progress.
Are we going to involve Meringue in that, because this parent is hard to get a hold of?
Yes.
Hard to get a hold of, hard to get her in.
Whoever we can bring in to help support to get mom in here. This is a discussion we want to have face to face versus via the phone, so we can really, share our information and get their input.
Okay, great. And I know she has two younger siblings who are coming to Eagle Academy, so
Ooh,
mom
that's
will be on campus somewhere at some time, so.
Good, that's good.
Great. All right, thank
All
you
right.
for doing that, I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right.
Great
Moving
job,
on.
team. I'll shut my cable off.
I wondered